Okay, we're good. Welcome. May 3rd. Today we're going to be working on knees, but before we begin, I reviewed a little bit of the recorded practices we did for the last few weeks, and I saw that on one of them I made an error, and I just want to correct that error. And in the beginning, it was one that I was doing about hips, and what I said was we have this thing called the torso, which goes from here down to our sacrum, and attached to the torso are your arms connected at your shoulders, and your legs connected at your hips, and they're all connected to the torso. But I didn't say that. That would be the right thing to say. Instead, what I said, that they're all connected to the sacrum. Oh, that would be a little bit odd to have your shoulders and your arms connected to your sacrum. So I apologize for that error. But here's what we're going to do today. We're going to be working strictly on knees. And when you think about the knee exercises that you've done, you probably haven't done a lot. You go to a gym, for example, they'll talk about, well, let's work on your quadriceps, let's work on your hamstrings, let's work on this. But I doubt you'll have a trainer say, let's work on your knees. So we're going to work on your knees and have you understand how important it is to have the muscles that are above your knee and below your knee and the side of your knee. You'll know more about knees than you've ever known, even if you've had an accident with your knee. That's why this is a workshop. So what we're going to do first is we're going to warm up our hips and our knees. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about the structure of the knee, and then we're going to go into actual knee exercises themselves. So while I'm setting up my chair, I'd like everybody to stand up and do whatever you want to do to loosen up your hips. So you'll be doing some swinging with your legs and be as sloppy as you can be with this. You want to take your time. And you really want to swing your legs around, do flexion, extension, whatever is going to be right for you to open up your body. It's up to you now to determine, what are you doing? Okay, swinging your legs. Maybe you're holding onto a chair. Maybe you're not. Do the other leg. You're doing abduction, you're doing adduction, you're doing rotation. Let's do some circumduction, making sure that the movements that you're making are not just little bitty movements, but really get your body moving. Let's get this nice warm up. So don't be afraid to lift your leg as high as it can go. Slop around a little bit. Hold on to something if you need to. Move your body around a lot. We really want to start from your waist down to start loosening all this stuff up, all this in your glutes, in your hips, swing your leg around as much as you can, maybe making figure eights. I love figure eights because we have an internal rotation and external rotation and extension. Somebody's not on mute. Wherever you are, please mute. Make sure you get the other leg going as well. Make these figure eights. Spin around a lot. And then either holding onto a chair, if you're not huffing and puffing a little bit, that means that you really haven't loosened a lot. Loosen a lot. But now hold onto a chair or a wall, whatever is going to work for you. We'll start with the right leg and grab a hold of your ankle. Now you'll notice here, notice how my knee is way in front of my right knee is way in front of my feet. I want to pull this back. I want to have my knees in line with each other, and I want to pull my heel as close to my buttocks as I can. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down, bring it up. Bring that knee back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down, up. Squeeze it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down, up, bring that knee back, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, last one, bring it up, so bring it back, get that knee, both knees in line with each other, stand nice and tall, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that's just a nice quad stretch. Let's go over to the left side now, same thing, same movement, reach back, bring that knee back so the knees are in line with each other. Bring your heel close to your buttocks for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down, up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. A little bit of a hamstring stretch now. So maybe holding onto a chair, maybe holding onto a wall, or just for balance, or not. You want to do this as a balance. So you'll be standing firmly on your left leg. Make sure your toes are facing straight forward. And what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be bringing my left hand down to the floor. So it's going to, and my right leg is going to go back. So it's going to, here it is. Come on, just like this. Go down and up and down and up and down and up. I'm going to hold on to a table, a little bit more stable than this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go to the other side. So I'm going to stand firmly on my right foot. Make sure your foot is facing straight forward and it's not twisted out to the side. Down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice. Just simple stretching to loosen everything up as we're going to approach the knees. Stand in front of your chair. We're going to do some squats now. Chair squats, which means that your butt will come down to the chair, barely touch, and then it comes straight back on up. Make sure your feet are not out like this, but that your feet are parallel to each other. Weight mostly in your heels, but not exclusively in your heels. And make sure your feet are a little bit wider than your hips. Just a little bit. So it's not way out here like this. We're not doing sumo squatting. We're not doing pliés. We're going to just plain old squatting to the chair, sitting down to the chair. Have your hands either crossed in front of your chest like this, or out here in front of you like this, if that's helpful to you. And sit down, stand up. Sit down, stand up. Sit down, stand up. Whichever your arms are doing, sit down, stand up. Sit down, stand up. Sit down, stand up. If you need to adjust your feet, by all means do. You need to slow down. Slow down. Sit down, stand up. Sit down, stand up. 100. Stand up. 99. Stand up. No, I'm only kidding. 5. Stand up. 4. Stand up. 3. Stand up. 2. Stand up. 1. Stand up. Down. Lift your butt off the seat just a little tiny bit and hold. And now pulse. Up and down, up and down, up and down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sit down. Catch your breath. Now, I'd like you to just look at your knees right now. Notice where they are. I hope they're perfectly parallel to each other. And I want you to stop. But wait, before you do, I'm going to tell you what you're going to be looking for. As you're standing up, you want to see, are my knees really going straight forward as I'm standing up? Or maybe for a split second, your knees come in towards each other. So just experiment. Stand up, look at your knees. Sit down, look at your knees. Stand up. Do this a few times until you can see, are you automatically, without even thinking, bringing your knees towards each other, even if it's just a thousandth of an inch? Can you keep your knees in perfect alignment with, say, your middle toes? Almost as if you had a band across your knees and you were pressing your knees out. But you're not pressing them way out. You're pressing them out only so that you can keep them in line. Do it a few more times. And release. When we get up off of seats, especially soft seats, like couches and soft cushioned seats, often as a way to help us get up, our knees knock together for a split second. So instead of coming up looking like this, it ends up looking, you just watch my knees for a second, boom, I kind of held my knees. Just like I said last week, how much are you using your hands, one hand or both hands, when you stand up? What would it be if you only stood up and only sat down without ever using your arms or your hands? It's going to continue. When you start doing that, now you start getting some muscular development in this area. And we do this all the time. You might be even sitting on the toilet, and then you get up. You know, what would it be if you didn't use your hands? So I'm now going to talk a little bit about the knee anatomy itself. And then we're going to go into the exercises. So the knee is the largest, let's see, better view this way. The knee is the largest joint in our body. One of the reasons why I had you do the warm-up exercises for your hips, and then the other ones that were used for hamstrings and quads, was to have you understand that there's a difference between types of hinges. The hip hinge is what's called a ball and socket hinge, where it's able to roll all around in all these different directions. You can abduct and you can adduct and you can flex and you can extend and you can circumduct. The knee is considered a hinge joint. A hinge joint is one that opens and closes like the hinges on a door. Can you imagine that you have a door and it's not, the hinge isn't opening and closing like this, but it's opening and then kind of wiggling from one side to another? I don't think your door would do very well. So same with the knee hinge. The knee hinge is supposed to just go straight into flexion or extension and flexion. And it has a little tiny bit of side-to-side movement. Not much. But what happens is we get knee injuries, and one of the things that happens is the knee does go from side to side a little bit, and that's one of the reasons to cause an injury. The other cause of an injury, of course, is what we discussed earlier, where you have the kneecap, and you fall down and you hang on the kneecap, and it breaks. You know, it was the knee. This joint has 3 bones, that make up the joint. The bones are the femur, the thigh bone, which is the longest and heaviest bone in our whole body. And if you remember from our hip exercises at hip workshop, the top of the femur, the head of the femur, fits into the hip socket, the acetabulum, making this ball and socket joint. But the bottom of the femur doesn't. The bottom of the femur, if you look at the bone itself, it's sort of like this. The bottom of the femur comes down and it glues onto with a ligament, it glues onto the kneecap, and the kneecap glues onto the tibia, which is your shin bone. So you have these three bones that are connected. You have the femur, the kneecap, and the shin bone. They're all connected with tight ligaments. Remember, ligaments connect bones to bones. But along with the ligaments, you also have tendons. You think of a muscle, at the end of a muscle, you have a tendon. And a tendon glues onto the bone. So here we have four big quadricep muscles that start at the groin, and they work their way all the way down to your knee. And then the four combine to form a tendon. This tendon comes in under the kneecap to attach the femur to the kneecap. Then on the underside of the kneecap as another tendon. It becomes what's called the patella tendon, and that attaches to the shin bone. So there's enormous connection. You have the ligaments connecting these three bones together. You have the tendons connecting, and then you have your hamstring muscles that are also, you have three hamstring muscles that all start right up here at the ischial tuberosity, your sitting bones, and they work their way down the back of your leg. And when they get down to the bottom of your leg, one tendon comes along and hooks on to the top side of your tibia, your shin bone. So you're being attached on the back and on the front with the ligaments and the tendons. And then you also, behind the kneecap, you have ligaments that cross. They're called cruciate ligaments. They're sort of like an X crossing. You have the ACL, the anterior cruciate ligament, and the PCL, the posterior cruciate ligament, that all sits behind the kneecap. And what those ligaments do, they prevent the knee from sliding forward and back. And if that's not even enough to keep this into a hinge, what also happens is we have an iliotibial band, your IT band, which is up here and works its way down the side of your leg, sort of as if it was a stripe down the side of your leg, or a stripe down the pants that you're wearing. And this iliotibial band, which is connective tissue, down below the knee and glues onto the tibia right here. So you're stuck. And all this stuff holding your knee together is great because you have this ability to extend your leg and bend your leg and extend and bend. And the muscles keep, the structure of it prevents the knee from going past this point right here. So it goes to flex and extend and flex and extend. Now, if you have an accident and you fall down, let's say, and you smack your knee against something or other, you can fracture this, and then you end up with a fractured knee, and all kinds of stuff happens that you have to have it repaired. You also can be hit on the side of the knee, and that can fracture it as well. So this workshop is not going to talk about accidents, because accidents do happen. I mean, that's just called part of life. But we want to take a look at what else happens. Well, you have repetitive movements, for example. And one simple repetitive movement that I showed when we were standing up and sitting down is the repetitive movement of having your knees go slightly in. That can cause when you've done it thousands of times, to start to weaken a little bit. Remember, if we want the knee to be going straight forward and straight back like a hinge, not wiggling from side to side, has a little bit of flexion, a little bit of ability, but not much. Another one is if you have a sudden movement. So you see what's known as ACL injuries, anterior cruciate ligament injuries. That's very common for the ligament that's behind the knee when you're making a sudden move one way or another. So you see it in athletes, for example. They'll be running along, say, on a soccer field, and then suddenly have to move one way or another way, and all of a sudden that ligament will pop, will actually break, and that's extraordinarily painful. It takes a long time to heal. So sudden movements and repetitive movements also can then cause these ligaments to get weakened. So I see it in runners a lot. If you ever watch a runner running towards you, or away from you, their foot might be great going this way, but when their foot comes back, the heel goes out. And they don't realize this. So you'll see a runner coming towards you, and you'll see the heel, or the runner's going away from you. You'll see it the same way. They'll run a step, take a step forward, and back, and back. All these little movements that I'm talking about, whether it be something like that, or any repetitive movement or a sudden movement, can then affect what's happening in the knee. So we want to make sure that the muscles that are south of here, called these muscles all the way down to here, and these muscles all the way up to here, stay balanced with each other. And it's the balance of the muscles that are going to keep your knees in great shape until you're in your 90s, hopefully. So that's what we're going to be working with today, to have you take a look at what muscles, and when I'm going through these exercises, what muscles feel, gee, this was kind of hard, or gee, this was kind of easy. So you'll be taking a look at all these different movements that we're doing for the knee, but notice that the knee can't move on its own. The knee has to have a muscle that's attached to it with a tendon to make the knee move. So if a muscle is weak, it's going to be harder to move that muscle. Or maybe it'll be a shortened muscle. Maybe your hamstrings have a different relationship for strength and flexibility than your quadriceps do. So this is going to be an opportunity for you to start to examine which part of my leg is causing some problems. So let's get going now into the actual exercises themselves. Oh, by the way, I said we're going to use a ball today. We're not. The props that you're going to need, I didn't want to have a ball workout for 5 minutes. It would not be giving it the credit that it's due. So what you'll need is either like a bathrobe tie, like I've got here, or a strap. You'll definitely need a small towel or a medium-sized towel like this. Or if you don't have a bathrobe tie or a strap, you could use a large towel, and I'll show you how to do that. And one of the exercises that we're going to be doing it on a smooth surface floor. It's a little bit more difficult to do it on carpet, but if you have to do it on carpet, you'll have to do it on carpet. So we're going to start right off. I'm going to move my chair. And each exercise that we do, you want to be taking, okay, what muscles am I using now for this exercise? Sorry, readjust. Sorry about mumbling to myself. That's pretty good. All right. Sit with your feet right in line with each other. You can hold on to the side of your chair, that'll be just fine. And then have your feet straight out in front of you. Make your legs as straight as you possibly can. I'm sitting right at the edge of my chair, and I'm pushing out through my heels. I'm dorsiflexing my feet. And now what I want to do is I'm going to look down at my kneecaps. Can I contract my quadricep muscles to make my kneecaps, the patella, slide down towards my ankles and up? So squeeze them both and release. Squeeze and release. You might see a difference from one to the other. Keep your feet in dorsiflexion. And for some of you, the kneecap will really be sliding up and down. For some of you, you'll look at your knees and nothing is happening. Contract your quadricep muscles. And now let's do it alternating. Left, right, left, right. Notice if there's a difference from one to the other. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Can you make your kneecaps slide? What are your quadriceps doing right now? Are they trembling a little bit? I hope they are. Now take your hands, put them high on your thighs, squeeze your thighs, and slide your hands down to the top of your knees, right above your knees. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And now continue to squeeze, squeeze. Contract your quads, contract, release, contract, release. What's happening to your kneecaps? Are they doing anything? They might not be. And release. Bring your feet back. We're going to seesaw your feet now. This is going to be a good exercise to notice about your ankles. Your ankles, by the way, are also a hinge joint, but they have more flexibility left and right, and they also have the ability to invert and evert. So even though it's considered a hinge joint, it's not a pure hinge joint like the knee joint is. So what you're going to be doing right now is raising your heels up, plantar flexing. Now notice that your gastrocnemius, your calf muscle is doing some work. And now lower your heels down and lift your toes up. Okay, what's happening here? Now your anterior tibialis muscle, this muscle that goes across the covering of your shin, is doing some work. It's doing some work when you're dorsiflexing, and so are your ankle bones, and it's also doing some work when you're plantar. So let's just rock and roll, just as if this is a seesaw. Up and down, toes up, heels up, toes up, heels up, toes up, heels up. I have what's called a flop foot on my left foot. I can hardly come into dorsiflexion at all. Up, just a seesaw. Now we're going to change the direction of the seesaw. So separate your feet a little bit wider than your hips. And now, instead of the seesaw going plantar flexion and dorsiflexion, now we're going to invert and evert your ankles. So the big toe side of my foot is up, and down the road, when I'm going this way, my knees are knocked together. So the movement, I'm seesawing back and forth using my ankles. I'm not just doing like the Charleston. I'm not just flopping my knees back and forth together, keeping my feet flat on the floor. I want to make the motion from my ankles. Often what will happen, somebody will sprain their ankle. Why are they spraining their ankle? Because this ability to have inversion and eversion, they've lost that ability in that joint. And of course, if you sprain your ankle and your ankle isn't moving very much, it can affect your knee. So we're going to be rocking and rolling, seesawing. Now stretch your feet out in front of you. Hold on to your chair. Lift your feet up right off the bat. You're probably noticing that, okay, I'm having to use muscles to do this. And now pretend that you're in a car and you're pedaling the gas pedal. Your feet don't have to be together, but pretty close. Press down, lift up. Press down with the other foot, lift up, down, up, down, up. You're going 100 miles an hour. Press it down hard, up, down, up. Press that gas pedal down, down, up. Alternate, right, left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Notice what muscles were used there. Ankle muscles, anterior tibialis muscles. Lots of stuff was happening with your gas pedal. Now I want you to put this small towel down on the floor in front of you. If you have a smooth surface like I have, great. If not, it's okay to put it on a carpet. You can either be sitting or standing, but we'll do this one sitting. And what I want to do is I want to swivel. So before I was doing inversions and eversions with my ankles, turning them open and turning them closed. Now I'm going to swivel. The heels are going out, and then I'm pigeon-toing. So don't just slide your heels together. Really get this momentum going. You're not just sliding your feet back and forth. You're turning your ankles. Turn. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Put the towel aside. Take your right foot and bring your left foot, the heel, on top of it. If you can, wedge it in between your toes, if you can. Maybe putting your toes in between, right at your ankle. And now I'm sitting up nice and strong. I'm going to lift my foot up, and then I'm going to lower it down. I'm using the weight of my top leg as well as pressuring. I'm pressing down and I'm pushing up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I'm feeling this really in my hip and glute. 8, whatever. I lost count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change sides. Put your right heel in between your toes, and you're going to be pressing. 10, 9, 8. You're lifting up and pressing down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. I don't know about you, but where I felt this mostly was in the top part of near my hip flexors and the top part of my quadricep muscles. I'd like you to cross your right leg over your left, squeeze together, and then squeeze together. We're going to do this back and forth, but you're not just closing your legs like this. This is really working your hips, which of course is going to affect your knees. Everything I'm talking about, everything we're doing today is affecting the stability of your knees. So cross, 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 cross. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. You should be feeling this a lot in your hips, especially this area right here, which is called the tensor fascia lata. We do a hamstring stretch right now. So here, I'm going to use my small towel. You can certainly use a strap or your tie instead. And what I'm going to do is strictly a simple hamstring stretch. I'm going to bring this towel underneath my right knee. I'm going to sit nice and tall. I'm going to bring my knee into my chest as high as I can without slumping. So whatever that means for you, if you need to lean back in your chair, it's okay. Bring it in as tight as you can. I'm holding onto the towel, and now stretch your leg out. Heel, make your leg as straight as you can. Breathe. A little higher if you can, without losing your the nice straightness in your back. Hold. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Push out through your heel. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, push out through your heel. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Other side. Towel or strap goes under your left knee, or just above your knee. Sit up nice and tall. Bring your knee into your chest as much as it's willing to go. And straighten your leg. Notice, all these exercises, by the way, are giving you an opportunity to see, is there a difference between my left leg and my right leg? And if so, what movements can I do? What exercises can I do to either strengthen a muscle or make it more relaxed or stretch it a little bit more? Hold the knee nice and high. For 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, sit a little taller, push out through your heel, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. That was called, or I call, hamstring stretch number 1. Now we're going to go into hamstring stretch number 2. And for this, I prefer using a strap. You can strap, a tie, or you can use your larger towel, if you prefer. This time I'm going to put the strap around the sole of my right foot, right in the middle. Step. Lift it up. Same thing as before. First I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to straighten it out. I want to hold the strap in my right hand only and A-B duck my leg out for 30, 29, 28, straighten your legs as much as you can, 27, 26, maybe it opens up a little bit more, maybe it doesn't, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to adduct. Put the strap in your left hand. Bring it up as high as you can. Twist around to your left, but hold on to the back of your chair as much as you can as you twist and look over your right shoulder. So now you're doing a nice rotation of your spine as well as doing this adduction, stretching out the whole right side of your body, including your IT bands for 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, push out through your heel, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Other side. Strap or towel around the sole of your left foot. Bring your knee into your chest. And then straighten your left leg out, holding onto the strap with your left hand or both hands if you prefer. Sit nice and tall, but don't let your body slump in any way. Push out through your heel, lift as high as you can. And now A, B, duck this foot out to the left. I'm holding onto the side of my chair with my right hand. Push out through your heel for 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Adduct. So now you bring it across your body, holding onto the strap with your right hand. Grab a hold of the back of your chair with your left hand. Turn your head to the left. Twist your back. Twist your lower back. And pull the leg, your left leg over to the right as much as it's going to go. Lift it as high as it can. Push out through your heel for 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. There are, just like for other parts of your body, there are hundreds and hundreds of different movements and exercises. These were just a few that I gave you specifically for your knees. And of course, the purpose of this workshop is to have you understand your knees a little bit more. And now, you can open up your mics Any questions you have, I'll be very happy to try to answer them for you. Yeah, so you'll be able to check them out for those of you who've forgotten what the heck we've done. But I hope you learned something about your knees and the importance of keeping your knees in this hinge way without the side to side, and to start to notice that if your knees are slipping from side to side, even in the slightest way, well, what muscles do I have to work on, either down south of my knee or above my knee, that's going to help me keep this hinge joint doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. Your goal should be to keep stretching your hamstrings and know that they have limitations. You know, just your whatever length of your hamstrings are, that's the length that they are. You know, they're not going to all of a sudden become these giant hamstrings. But you want to have your hamstring be at least stretched as often as you can. And knowing that, if you can keep them stretched, well, that's one thing when you talk about the mobility of the hamstring, the ability to stretch, like, you know, it'll only go to a certain point. But then you want to take a look at, what am I doing to increase the strength of my hamstring? Stretching alone ain't going to cut it. Stretching with hamstring exercises certainly will. And there's plenty of hamstring exercises that are just dynamic to strengthen whatever length hamstring you've got. You're welcome, Maggie. And if you want to take a look at, okay, am I avoiding certain things because I don't want my knees to hurt? You might be, and for each one of you, not just you, Maggie, I'm not picking on you, but you want to take a look at, am I not doing something because I'm afraid it will make my knee hurt? And it might make your knee hurt. The thing about it is, instead of avoiding that, whatever that is, okay, what do I need to strengthen or stretch? Maybe I started working on the muscle in front of my shin. You know, I've paid no attention. I didn't even know there was a muscle down there. I thought it was just a bone and skin. No, there's a big muscle that covers the whole front part of your shin. But what's happening with my calves? Or what's happening with my, am I taking this right hand along the side of my body, and am I keeping it in good shape? Am I massaging? Am I using a ball, if I can, to roll on it? Or I'm using a foam roller to keep that IT band in good shape? Or is it all dried out? I don't know. And what George is saying, now I don't know how many of you are out there playing soccer this afternoon or playing soccer at all, but the fact of the matter is, sometimes it doesn't take a whole lot. You could be walking along and trip and have your ankle do something funny, and all of a sudden it's going to reflect back into your knee in an instant. And all of a sudden you've got a tear or something going on with your knee. So you want to keep your ankles in good shape too. So I think that maybe the next workshop I'll do, I might work on ankles and feet and toes. And that's why I thought that today's workshop was an important workshop, because we take our knees for granted until they start aching. And then we're, whoa, what's going on? Why is my knee hurting? Well, maybe your knee is hurting because you've not paid good attention to what's going on down below your knee or above your knee. Or as I was saying to Faye before about, well, we can stretch, okay, but what about strengthening those muscles, including the hamstring muscles? So everybody's saying, oh, I have tight hamstring muscles, I'm going to stretch them. Well, what are you doing to strengthen your hamstring muscles? There's a ton of great exercises to strengthen hamstring muscles. A lot of people don't do them. I do foam rolling myself every day. Like every day I do foam rolling. Usually when I come to my IT band, I find that the foam roller that I have is too painful. I just can't do it. That's when I use a ball on my IT band. I'm using a yoga tune-up ball, and I'll take it and I'll massage and I'll twist and I'll turn and I'll do all kinds of things with the ball. You can use your hand to do this, or you can lay down on the ball. You can do it against the wall. That's going to keep, but you want to keep that IT band in good shape.
Thank you.
And take your time. Really find those sore spots. Remember, the IT band is a long thing. It goes way up here, all the way down to below your knee. So take your time and find out where on that long band is any kind of anything that you've got that you can work into your skin is great. I like the yoga tune-up balls, and I specifically like them. They're a hard rubber, but they're not like a rock. They're not like hard plastic, which means that they can sort of get deeper into the fascia. So that's why I prefer something like this over the thing you got there, but I can't take my ball and do my back like that can do your back. Thanks, everybody.